Jason J. Rock Houston, and tonight we're speaking with guitar player Mick Sweda. And many people know Mick from back in the days when he was a guitar player in the BulletBoys, but tonight we're talking to Mick about his new band, which is called Lies, Deceit, and Treachery. And this new band, of course, Mick, besides you, it features 3/4 of the original BulletBoys, which also includes bassist Lonnie Vincent and drummer Jimmy DeGata. Am I saying his name right? Deanda, excuse me for that. Thanks for correcting me on that. But so, can you tell us how the band got together and what the plans are for the band going forward?
Jimmy and I have been working together on and off for quite some time, and we ended up meeting Shane, and we went together and wrote some songs, and nothing's come of that yet. But when Lonnie became available to play, we just got together and started rehashing the old BulletBoys tunes, and it felt really good. It was fun for me because I don't normally, in my writing, I don't really play like that or write like that anymore. So it was just fun to experience that again, and we were having a good time doing it. So we decided to throw it out there, and people seem to be very interested in it, and we're looking forward to playing again and bringing an energy that we haven't really seen out there lately. So hopefully we'll bring something that's a bit older, and it'll feel new.
And let me ask you now. I heard that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that supposedly you guys had tried to get back with Mark Torien and have a full-blown reunion, and things did not work out. Is that correct?
Well, it is, but that was quite a while ago. I can't remember the year. It might have been 2011 or 12. I'm not sure, but we ended up playing a gig at the Key Club, and what we proposed to Mark is that, if he made some concessions and the gig went well, we would continue on, because he's basically been in a pattern of calling us every time the brand needs to be revitalized, and so the gig seemed to go well, and Mark didn't keep his end of the bargain, so we ended up walking away from that, and that time it was for good.
Because I gotta say, I seen his current BulletBoys open up for Gilby Clarke earlier this year, and he's pretty good. Mark's great at what he does, but again, I gotta say, I think most fans would rather see the original band back together, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So so you guys right now, you got a gig coming up January 10th. So is the plan to you guys are kind of be covering the BulletBoys catalog, or do you have any new tunes you'll be throwing in there?
At this point, we aren't throwing in any new tunes. We are covering the BulletBoys catalog, as you mentioned, a pretty wide swath of it, actually. And that's been enough for us to digest, at least in the last little while. It's been a long time since any of us had played. Actually, Lonnie, I guess, has gone out with Mark a couple times, but I haven't really looked back at my catalog in quite some time, so it's been enough for me to sort of get this in shape. But in the future, we have agreed to write some new material, and we're going to be working on that as soon as we get back in town.
Oh, that's cool, because I was going to say that I would think initially, when you play this debut gig, that being that you got 3/4 of the original BulletBoys, that people are going to want to hear those BulletBoy tunes. So I think it's cool, that you guys are doing that right now until you got some more, new tunes written up. That's a great way to get this band, out there.
Yeah, I think so. It's fun to play the material, and the set we have is something that we never did even back in the old days. I mean, we're playing we played, and it's a lot of fun. I think it'll be surprising for some people to see the kind of energy that's been missing from whatever the brand is now. I mean, I know for a fact that we, the three of us, Jimmy and Lonnie and I, have a chemistry that is pretty undeniable. I mean, it's something that I haven't experienced in my entire career other than playing with those guys, and it's really refreshing to see that it still exists. So I think it'll be an exciting gig.
And so, Mick, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys played on the first two BulletBoys albums, which is I think to this day remains their best-selling album. Is that correct?
Say it again. We played on the first. We played on all three one record.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say those remain the bands I believe best-selling albums. So again, I think it's great to have the band that originally played those songs back out there doing these tunes.
Yeah, exactly.
And talk a little bit about your new singer. How did you guys discover him, and who is he?
Well, his name is Shane Tassart, and he's been playing around the LA scene for quite a while. He's been in a number of different bands, and he's a great writer, a great singer, and an even better guy. And we were really fortunate to come across him. It was kind of fortuitous and serendipitous in a way, because he and I threw out I think a Facebook post or something, and got a lot of responses back, and Shane's just sort of stood out. And when we met him, we just felt like we had a lot in common, and he has a great quality to his voice, and he has a great range as well. So he seems to have all the bases covered, and in fact, he was a fan of our band, and it's funny because he busted out some photos of an in-store that he was at that we did, and so yeah, there seems to be a lot more to it than just meeting a new singer. He's a lot more than that for us.
And how cool is that you guys didn't really have to, you kind of found your guy right away. You didn't have to hold auditions or anything, and you already had 3/4 of the band together.
Oh yeah, that never happens. It was crazy. I mean, and that's part of what sort of made me feel comfortable with it. I mean, he was the only guy that we really had come down, and he seemed to fit in right from the get-go. And he's an amazing friend at this point. So, like I said, it goes way beyond just being a great singer.
And Lies, Deceit, and Treachery, what a cool name. Can you tell us how you guys came up with that?
Well, it was kind of hard to represent BulletBoys, using anything else. I mean, we obviously don't want to use that name.
Yeah.
We want people to understand sort of what we're about, especially those that are more familiar with our material. And given everything we've been through with with this band and in our own individual careers, those three words just seem to sum it up as much as they did back in 1988. So it was kind of obvious actually once we stumbled across it. So
now, have you heard anything from any Mark Torien or his people? Like, if they tried to put a stop to this, or have they given?
I don't think he's very happy about it.
Yeah.
Considering again that he most recently called Lonnie to rejoin him, and he's called all of us at different points. But he wants to keep control of what he does, and that's fine. He's perfectly welcome to do that.
Yeah, because I think you guys are very smart in that you're calling it Lies, Deceit, and Treachery. You're not calling it BulletBoys 2 or anything like that, like where you had 2 LA Guns and all that. You guys are 3/4 original band, so to me, you have just as much every right to play these songs, as Mark does. So you're not going out there claiming that you're the BulletBoys or BulletBoys 2 or anything like that. You're just, these are the songs that we were involved with, that we helped write and create, and you're going out there and playing the songs, and I think it's very smart the way you're doing it.
Yeah, we're very comfortable with it. I don't know how ultimately how this is going to turn out, because I don't know how much business there is. I mean, I've been out of the BulletBoys loop for quite a long time, aside from, you know, the odd gig here and there. And the only thing I know is that there seems to be a hell of a lot of interest online, and there seems to be a lot of interest in the people that are getting in touch with me. It doesn't seem to have wavered much. You know, the only thing I know is that you know, the actual band is they don't seem to live up to the expectations that people have. Or, you know, I mean, that's just what I hear. But
yeah.
Well, hopefully we can improve upon that.
Because, you know, I gotta say that again. You know, your band just kind of, you know, as far as what I know about it, just kind of popped up online. You know, as far as I just one day seen that you guys were on Facebook. Oh, what's this? 3/4 for original BulletBoys. I checked it out. Thought, oh, it'd be cool to talk to these guys, see what they got going on. And you know, of course, besides BulletBoys, Mick, I know that you were before that involved with King Cobra, and you played on the last 2 albums since they got back together. Is that not correct?
Yeah, it is correct, actually. I've been in touch with Dave on and off over the course of the many years, and he let me know that they were, you know, putting a record together, and he asked if I'd be interested, and ultimately he ended up sending me some files, and I played my parts on the record, you know, from my studio, and yeah, I love Dave. He's a great writer and a great guitar player, and he's an amazing person. And so you know, I'd work with Dave, you know, under any circumstances. He's just, I have a lot of respect for him, and you know, I see things very similarly, and you know, he made it very easy for me to do. So that was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, you know, I gotta say, yeah, I gotta say, I love Paul Shortino. I think he's the perfect choice, you know, as far as you know, a singer for that band. What was him and Carmine like to work with?
Well, Carmine certainly hasn't changed much from the early days, and Paul, you know, he's just a very nice guy. He's a very nice man, and working with him was, you know, like it should be. You know, as I've said many times, it's been a long while since I've worked with, you know, mature adults, and it was very easy to do, considering that everybody in that band falls into that category.
And I imagine, you know, being involved with these different projects, so like you said, when you decided to put this band together, probably the thing that you're always asked about is probably the BulletBoys. Am I not, you know, is that correct, would you say?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's by far, you know, the most successful event that I've been a part of.
And as far as the BulletBoys, you know, I got to ask you, Mick, because, you know, you look at the pictures today, and you listen to some albums, you know, it almost seems like the fact that they teamed you guys up with Ted Templeman, they were trying to create like the, you know, modern day Van Halen. Is that what you felt like at the time, or that they're trying to mold you, or is that just kind of a image they created for the band?
No, that's really kind of a media creation.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, all those facts are indisputable. There certainly isn't any denying any of that. But the way we approached our band, we never felt that way.
Yeah.
Those guys are all fans of Van Halen, and I was to a way less a degree. I actually did a lot of things differently on those records, so that any Van Halen comparisons wouldn't pop up. You know, I tried to avoid them at all costs, knowing that, you know, with Ted Templeman and Warner Brothers and the way the band was, the members of the band looked and all that, I knew that a lot of the focus would fall on the guitar playing. But alas, that didn't really seem to help. Everybody seemed to think that we were, you know, designed to be the next Van Halen, and that was never, that couldn't be farther from the truth. Like I said, we never, I mean, we just formed our band based on what everybody brought to it, and if people think that was what the end results sounded like, then hats off. I mean, I never really felt that way, and that wasn't something that certainly we tried to do by any stretch.
Yeah. And again, the reason I bring that up is because not so much that I thought that, but over the years I read things in magazines where people try to imply that this is the next Van Halen or whatever, or these singers trying to look like David Lee Roth or whatever, and I thought you guys kind of had an element because of the guitar stuff, but I didn't really think you sounded too much like Van Halen.
Yeah, with all due respect to those people that wrote that, it's really just another case of lazy journalism.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at all those parameters, and that's the first thing you want to pull together, and you really don't even have to listen to the record to draw that conclusion. And it wouldn't surprise me a bit if most of those people didn't listen to the record, because, I mean, again, I'm not going to deny that Mark does a lot of things that are similar in some way, and maybe that's just the way Ted makes records.
Yeah.
I don't know, but again, if you're a discerning listener, Van Halen is really not the first thing you come up with in listening to our records.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm glad we cleared the air on that. Now, when you and got back together with Lonnie and Jimmy, and you decided you're go forward with this band, what was it like getting together and playing these tunes for the first time, in a long time?
Well, to be very frank, that was what caused the whole thing to come together, because, like I said, the three of us, I mean, we spent a lot of time together. We rehearsed incessantly and wrote together and bled together and did that together. I mean, we did a lot of good things, and we basically have been through the trenches with due respect to our soldiers, and nobody can accomplish what they do, but you feel like you've been through things together, and there's a bond there that exists that really can't come in any other way. And so, like I said earlier, there's a chemistry between us that will probably never go away. And I know Jimmy had said this, I know Lonnie has said it, and I feel the same way. There's just, in spite of all the years and all the travels and all the different musicians, there really isn't any other way to get what we have. And it's we think it's great. We love it, and it's very infectious for all of us. And as soon as we get in the room together, and it doesn't even have to be a song, it can be a riff that somebody starts playing. There's just something magical for us, and I think other people see that too. I think other people will be aware of it when they see it at the shows.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't really like tooting our own horn, but that's really what led us to the point where we're at right now. Is just that feeling, that chemistry, and that visceral sort of gut punch that comes when we get together and play.
And so, you guys have a show coming up January 10th in Las Vegas, the band's very first show. Have you been rehearsing much of that, or is this kind of like putting on an old coat, like you were saying, where these are the tunes that you guys originally created together? Did it take much practice when you guys first got back together? Or is it like, stuff you've been doing all your life?
Yeah, well, it did take some time, because we've been away from it, and certainly every rehearsal got better and better. And although the first one was fun, I mean, it really just started out as something fun, and it felt good, and it was something that none of us had experienced, in many, many years, being away from each other. But that being said, I mean, there are certain things that we have to do to stay true to
the songs,
what we created, and we're trying to make sure that we capture, the best of what we did way back when. So, you know, there are some things that we are adding that are totally new, and there are a lot of things that we used to do that we really enjoyed that we're keeping. So, yeah, I mean, the rehearsals have been fun every second of it, you know, and that's what I hope is going to be relayed when we play, you know, just the fun that we're having.
And let me ask you, as far as your singer Shane, when you guys decide, okay, we need to get a new singer for this, was it necessarily that you had to find, you know, a guy that sounded just like Mark, or was it just that, you know, these are great tunes, and if we find a decent enough singer, any decent enough singer should be able to sing these?
No, actually, we didn't consciously look. We got Shane for an original project.
Uh-huh.
And you know, the three of us are in a band called the Hot Summers.
Oh, okay.
And for, you know, reasons that I don't really want to go into, we never sort of completed that project, although that still may happen in the future.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that Shane was a fan of our band, and he was looking forward, even during the writing sessions for the Hot Summers and recording sessions for that, he was always talking about playing BulletBoys songs. He just really wanted to be, you know, a part of that because he was a fan from the old days. So, you know, it just sort of evolved from there. He wasn't hired as a BulletBoys
singer
replacement.
Yeah.
You know, he just happened to be able to do it.
Yeah, how cool is that? I think for him that's got to be the ultimate, you know, dream. You know, being a fan of a band, and then to actually jump up on stage, so to speak, and be playing with the guys that, you know, he grew up listening to.
Yeah, I mean, it's really funny. Like I said, he was at an in-store that we did, and he's got these weird pictures. One of which is like half of me reaching out to him and taking the picture, and it's generated all these funny comments. But yeah, it's kind of funny how even way back when, before I even knew who he was, we were sort of connected in some weird way.
And so you kind of touched on this earlier. You were saying earlier, Mick, that you know, since you guys decided to put this project together, you're kind of shocked at all the response you've been getting. So let me ask you. Right now, you got this first show come up in Vegas on January 10th, and does it kind of depend on how well that show does to see where you guys take this in the future?
Well, we have some offers right now that we're considering, and yeah, it sounds like we're going to be playing more. How often that ends up happening, I can't really say. But yeah, we're looking forward to getting out there and you know, taking it to the people that seem to be interested in coming out. I mean, it's kind of crazy because, you know, after all Mark has been through with the brand and how it seems to, you know, sort of diminish after you know, all these years. I mean, I wasn't sure how much business there was to be done, but, you know, it's sort of opening my eyes. I'm wondering, you know, why, to be honest with you, because I would have never guessed that there'd be this much interest in it. But I don't know. Maybe there's a place for us somewhere in this musical milieu that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, well, I sure hope so. I wish you guys luck with this because, like I said, I gotta tell you, I seen Mark and his BulletBoys. Last year, I think it was Anaheim House of Blues. They're opening up for Gilby Clarke, and you know, he's great at what he does. He's pretty good. He's a talented guy, no denying that. But again, it's kind of like going to see Guns N' Roses. There's only one original guy, and you know, and I don't think the BulletBoys would still be doing, you know, even a little bit of business he does if he wasn't still in the band. But I think people would love to go see this because you got 3/4 of the original band, and as opposed to, you know, going to see Mark and his band, it's just one original guy.
Yeah, I mean, I get that some people want to hear the voice of the band.
Yeah.
And, you know, that makes perfect sense to me, and something that I would have said, yeah, well, of course. I mean, you know, you can't really do it without the singer, but, you know, when Shane is a part of the picture, and the three of us generate as much heat as we generate, and again, you know, I don't really feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Blowing my own horn.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's undeniable to us, and the material really sort of comes alive when the three of us play it. So
I mean, it's kind of like yeah.
I'm anxious to see what people think.
I mean, it may not be the same level to you, but it's kind of like people could go see Queen today. I mean, who would not have loved to see Queen and Freddie Mercury back in the day? But those songs are such legendary songs, are such well-written songs that's the reason Roger and Brian are still able to go out and perform those songs with Adam Lambert or Paul Rodgers or whoever, because they're just great songs. And especially those first three BulletBoys albums, that's a great catalog material to draw from. So if you got a decent enough singer playing that singing that material, I think it'll go over well live with the fans.
Well, I think there's probably a place for both entities, because like I said, I don't know, I haven't seen Mark, but I think he's playing more of his own original material, and I know that he wants to, sell records of his own, and like I said, we're just sort of bringing life back to some songs that we worked hard on and that we were really proud of, and we enjoyed playing. So maybe there's a way for both of these things to exist on different planes.
And I think it'd be a really cool idea. Like you said, if down the line, once the band gets going, and you start to create, some buzz and a bit of a fan base, besides the, built-in fan base you already got, if you guys did put out an EP of, maybe 4 or 5, new tracks just to showcase, this is what the band, can do today. I think you could take it, that much farther.
Yeah, I think the potential for that exists. I'm not really sure, how that will work out. I mean, I've spent most of the last 20 years trying to distance myself from, my past and trying to create something new and moving on. So, it's a little different for me, although it's a lot of fun. I'm having a great time doing it. But that's sort of on the horizon. I'm not really sure where that road's going to lead, but I'm looking forward to it.
And on that level, let me ask you, Mick. It sounds like you're really happy about moving forward with this. But with that being said, that how you kind of been trying to run from your past, so to speak. Did you at all have any reservations about doing this when the other guys first suggested it?
I did. Yeah, I was very reticent, to be honest with you, because I just wanted to work on new material and put out a record that was that didn't really have any ties to my past, and I'm not a huge fan of revival bands and nostalgia acts, and so it's a little hard for me to sort of
do something like this.
But, I'm still having a little difficulty with it because I've always wanted to move past it, but it's so much fun and we're having such a great time, and to be honest with you, if you've read anything I've ever written, or I've gone to my website and written a little thing I call biopsy, it's easy to come away from that thinking I was just bummed out and had a horrible time throughout the duration of my BulletBoys career. And, to a large extent, it was true. I mean, I really wish it could have been a lot more fun. I wish it could have been a lot more successful. I wish things could have been different in the way that I always envisioned them happening. So I think there's a part of me that is trying to rectify that, by playing with these guys, because, everybody's in a great space and everybody's in a great frame of mind and everybody's at the top of their game musically. And so, I don't know, maybe I'm just trying to get a little bit of that lost past back.
Yeah, well, I hope, when you guys have your first show, that maybe some of that will go away, because obviously the fans and promoters and people are speaking up that they want to see this band, and you said you've already got some other offers, so I think that people so far spoken loud and clear. So I think maybe just you get through that first show, and then you can see the people that show for the show. You'd be even more motivated, hopefully.
Yeah, and in the end, I'm an entertainer, and people want to be entertained, and I've heard from my people, they want us to go out and play, and they want to see what this is about, and they're really excited about it, and, who am I to say no? I'm not going to do that. I'm a guitar player, I like to play live, I like to make people happy, and if I can do that in any way, then, that's what I'm here for.
And you're obviously concentrating on this project right now, but I'm aware of it. Like you said, you've done some solo music and stuff in the past. I think I have one of your albums. I can't think of a title, but it was like an album worth like a childhood, like a child type songs for children.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I did a kids record.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool original idea. I thought. You have any more plan to release any more of those solo type records?
Well, that depends, because the guys that I'm playing with now are interested in writing together.
Oh, that's good.
And we've sort of worked out how we're going to do that, I think. So yeah, it's very possible that I'm in my original band right now. We'll see how it ends up happening. But the kids record I did, the songs in the key of cool, is it's just one of many. I've got probably 8 records that I've done in the time that since I left BulletBoys.
And can people still?
None of them have really seen the light of the day in any formal way, but there's a lot of material in my past that hopefully will be heard.
Can people still get their hands on those albums? Like if they buy them through your website?
Yeah, if they reach me personally, I've been able to. They're out of print. I can definitely hook people up with any of those CDs if they're interested. So if people reach me at mixwated.com or on my Facebook page, I can certainly make that happen.
Yeah. Now, going back, when the BulletBoys first took off, I was curious, what was it like for you to go from a guy who was virtually unknown, just practice guitar and is, living the rock and roll dream, so to speak. To eventually, you had an album on Warner Brothers, and all these people are buying your album, and they all of a sudden know who Mick Sweet is. What was that like for you?
Wow. Well, it was pretty wild. Frankly, I felt like I worked so hard to get to that point, and I had made so many sacrifices that when it actually happened, I felt like, okay, thank you. It's kind of about time, man. But I had a taste of that with Key Cobra. It was a much smaller
level, but yeah.
Smaller exposure, but by the time I was in BulletBoys, I'd sort of been there to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I tried to keep a level head about it all, and I tried to be very humble, and I was always very, very grateful for anybody that took the time to come out and see my band, or to let us know how much they liked us or appreciated us. I was always very, very grateful and humbled, and I knew that it was famous, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It was very fleeting, and so I knew it wasn't going to last forever, and I tried to enjoy it to the extent that I could. But, there were always mitigating factors to that. As I said before, it was, there was a lot of damage control going on the entire time, and I'm not very happy about having had to live through that, but I can get some of that back.
And people think that success came to you guys overnight, but like you said, it was you'd worked many years to get to that point in your career. And let me ask you, when you left the BulletBoys, was it a matter that you just decided one day to leave, or did the band just kind of all fall apart together?
No, I left. There was we were actually playing the Palace in LA, and we were at a sound check, and without going into too many of the gory details, I had just had enough of, a certain personality in that band. And I just, as soon as we finished the sound check, I asked all the guys to come up to the dressing room, and I informed them that I was going to leave the band and that I'd fulfill my obligations, and I'd support the record, which was Zaza, but that I wasn't going to be doing anymore. And, they were all very shocked and tried to convince me to stay, but I had enough.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear, and I can hear in your voice, like you're saying, how appreciative and humble you are for any little bit of success that's ever come your way, and I think that's a great thing about what you're doing with Lies, Deceit, and Treachery, because it's kind of come full circle, and the fact that maybe at the time when you walked away from it, you had such a bitter taste, left in your mouth, that maybe if you come back and you do this, give the people what they want, and you won't be left with such a bitter taste, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, I mean that has a lot to do with it, I think, and the guys, Lonnie and Jimmy specifically, have they've really bent over backwards to try to make me feel better about something that they don't have any control over.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys were on my side back then, and it's we've had a lot of conversations about it, and we've gone over it hundreds of times, and some things you just can't fix in life, but sometimes you can have a couple of laughs over it, and that in and of itself can heal wounds.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. Like it just goes to show you that like you said, you've been involved with other projects, but now you're doing this. But that just goes to show you the strength of these songs that you guys created, together. That 20, 30 years later, there's still a audience for them.
Yeah, it's really funny because there's still. There have been many times when I've gone to rehearsals with a knot in my stomach, just like the old days, and I'm stressing over this, I'm stressing over that, and I'm not, I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing, man? I'm going backwards. This goes against every fiber of my being. But as soon as you start playing those songs, all of that goes away. Just like the old days, dude, when we were on the road and everybody was pissed off at everyone else, and people were acting like fucking idiots. As soon as we got on stage, all of that disappeared.
Yeah.
And just for 1 hour, 24, I was able to just forget about everything that was bumming me out, and I was able to have a good time, and it made it all worthwhile because those people were having fun with us. So, I mean, I think you said a mouthful there, and I'm hoping that maybe there can be a little bit of redemption, and maybe I can, some of these scabs that I've been carrying for 20 years will just finally turn into stars and look good on me.
Yeah. I mean, and the great thing is you're playing with your buddies, Jimmy and Lonnie, and people get the chance to hear Shane and see what a talent he is.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully people will enjoy it. I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, I'm having fun already. The icing on the cake is going to be that everybody else does too. Yeah,
I think you'll know once you hit the stage, January 10th, and people come and see that debut show. And I hope there'll be more shows to follow. Now, it must be a great.
I hope so. Like you said, we're playing at Vamped in Las Vegas this coming Saturday, January 10th, and we're really looking forward to opening some eyes, and maybe people will see something that they haven't seen in a long time. I mean, I'm not really current on what's going on in music right now, but I'd be very surprised if there was anybody out there doing, what we do now.
I think Vegas is a great place to debut the band because Vegas has become, it's always kind of been an entertainment capital, but really become rock city. I mean, they've got the Sin City Sinners. They got a band called Let It Rock with Stacey Blades and Jamie St. James, and they've got a lot of rock guys there now that have shows almost every weekend down there.
Yeah, a lot of my friends have moved to Vegas. I think I have more friends in Vegas now than I do in LA. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll have a good showing, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
And what's it like, doing this, but you don't have the big machine? I mean, it must be a great feeling. I mean, you know, you don't have a big record label behind you. You guys are kind of managing and running the band yourself. You have but you don't necessarily have a guy in a suit telling you everything to do.
Yeah, we really never had that problem with Warner Brothers. I mean, you know, Ted certainly dictated some of what happened with our records, and certainly the way they were made. I mean, you know, making those records was kind of anathema to how we worked, you know, in rehearsals, because we were very diligent, and Ted was very loose about time, and, you know, it was a very different way to work back then. But even then, we were able to make, you know, poor career decisions if we felt like it, and it definitely happened. But yeah, you make a good point. We don't really answer to anybody right now, and we should probably enjoy that while it lasts.
Yeah, and I think you got a while right ahead. Hopefully, hopefully you guys have any shows planned for LA area?
Not right now. We, like I said, we're entertaining some offers right now, but they seem to be coming in pretty quickly and in numbers. So, yeah, if everything goes well, we'll be doing some shows and getting out in front of more and more people.
Well, I really enjoyed talking to you. Before I let you go, Mick, I got to ask you, of all your albums with the BulletBoys, which one would you say was your favorite?
Wow. I think I like Freak Show of all of them, although I'm probably not the right person to ask, because I haven't, I'm never happy with anything, you know. I think everything I've done could be a lot better. And certainly that album had a lot of skeletons in the closet, you know. But of the three of them, I think that one was probably the one that was closest to how I envisioned the band evolving.
And, you know, you guys, spent many years, I imagine, building the band, up, but were you surprised at kind of that it kind of just crashed and went away so quick?
Wow, that's a good question. Were they surprised? No, I think I was more surprised that the band lasted as long as it did. There was, even from the first record on, there were many times when we weren't sure if we were going to, if there was going to be a BulletBoys the next day. But, yeah, I was disappointed. I can definitely tell you that. The way I envisioned the band happening didn't work out, and, that was my baby. I put my heart and soul into that band, and so if I come off sounding a little bitter and upset over how it all happened, it's because it was, that was everything to me. I busted my ass to make that band happen, and it did in spite of, some of the people in the band, for that matter. So, there's a lot of anger and resentment that I'm now able to, deal with a lot more and a lot easier because the band I'm in right now.
Well, I gotta thank you, Mick. I thank you for being so brutally honest, because a lot of people are afraid to open up and be so honest. But this is a life you've lived, and like I said, you guys helped create this music, so it's only natural that you'd have such strong feelings about the music. And I just wish you guys all the luck with the new band, Lies, Deceit and Treachery. And please let me know if I can do anything else to help you guys spread the word. But this interview itself will be going up about a week. I'll let you know the minute it goes up. And again, I thank you for being so brutally honest, because again, this is a life you've lived, and I think that's what's made this such a great interview. In fact, you've been so willing to be so brutally open and honest with us.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's entertaining. I don't really do things any other way, so that's kind of what you see is what you get with me, for better or worse. But, yeah, I appreciate your kind words, and I appreciate you taking the time to chat. And like I said, you can get a hold of me through my Facebook page or at nickslater.com, and I know Jimmy and Shane and Lonnie all have ways to reach them. So yeah, just let us know what you're thinking, people, and come out and see us, and stay true to rock, man. It's a lot lot of people are saying it's in trouble right now, and I don't necessarily believe that, but, you know, we're doing our best to make sure at least our perception of it stays alive.
Well, I think with a band like, you know, Lies, Deceit and Treachery, that you guys can help bring it back if it is dead, because, you know, again, I think you're going to be surprised, Mick, when you guys play your first show that, you know, I think this, you know, they say music is the best universal language, so to speak, and it's the best therapy. I think you're going to see in this experience that this, you know, something that maybe once ended bitterly for you, as you're going to have a nice rebirth.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm having a lot of fun playing this stuff, and I'm looking forward to, you know, doing it justice, and maybe even getting some of these songs back in some little way.
Well, I think you guys are going to deliver the goods for the fans, because again, this is 3/4 of original BulletBoys band that, you know, you guys created those songs just as much as Mark. So I think you guys are the band to do it.
Yeah, everybody's playing their asses off, man. Rehearsals are a lot of fun, and yeah, I think people are gonna have a good time, man. I hope to see you out there at some point too, Jason.
Okay, yeah, well, definitely, especially if you guys come to the LA area. But all the luck again with this, Mick, and thanks so much for doing this. You have a great night, and I'll be talking to you.
Thanks, brother. Take good care.
Okay, bye-bye.